Hello and welcome. Today we're making a rosary for the sanctity of human life. For those of you that have seen the Pro-Life, Right to Life rosaries before, that's actually not what we're making today, but I wanted to show you where this is coming from. So if you've seen the traditional ones, this is what they look like. This is from a kit from Our Lady's Rosary Makers. I will provide a link to the I guess more traditional prayers. There's different versions of it. I'm not really sure what the original version was. Some other versions of the prayers, they seem to just be focusing on making sure that we're praying in a way that's loving to everyone that we're praying for. So I'll put some links for that, and also for Mother Teresa's talk that she gave when she was invited to give the talk at the National Prayer Breakfast. Because what I really love about her talk and her witness in general is how she's straightforward, but she's also very humble and loving when she does it. And that's obviously the focus if we're praying for the value of human life. You know, we're valuing every life. So, all right, you're going to need so we're going to do this in ladder format. So this is what you're actually, if you're doing this video, this is what you're making. It's a ladder rosary version, but it's different in more than just that way. The Our Fathers I'm using yellow or gold pony beads for. In the traditional one, those are also white. Use a lot of white beads in the regular one. So I also am using all purple instead of doing 3 purple for the 3 Hail Marys at the beginning, Faith, Hope, and Love, and then they use black, 5 black beads later on. I've used purple for all of those. I can see you could use purple or black. If you think of Lent, and you also think of funerals, those are the colors that we would be looking at, black and purple or violet, or as they say, orchid. So also they use aqua beads. I didn't have aqua pony beads, I'm using light blue for that. So you will need 6 yellow pony beads for your Our Fathers, 3 dark blue beads, 9 red pony beads, 5 green, 5 light blue or aqua. You'll need 8 purple or black, and then 23 of white or clear beads along with your crucifix. And then it's helpful to have some nail polish or glue to seal it off. At the end, you'll need 6 feet of cord, or approximately 190 centimeters if you round up. So you'll take this and you're going to hold your ends together. So you're basically like folding your cord in half. Then you put the crucifix on, you put your ends through the top of that crucifix, and then you put the ends through the loop that you've made above the crucifix. You pull it down to connect it. You're just trying to keep your ends even on both sides. Got a little bit weird there. Okay, so it'll be connected on, looks like that. For your first Our Father, that'll be yellow. You'll put both ends through. Then for your Hail Mary, you're going to put one of your ends through one side and your other end through the other side, and then pull that down. For your beads praying for faith, hope, and love, and especially thinking of that in terms of recognizing the value and the sanctity of human life, an increase in faith, hope, and love. So you do all of those the same way, and then Our Father again, so you're putting both ends through and pulling it down. And then you're going to start your first decade. So I'm using this as a reference, but I'd actually like to think of this more broadly. So I have prayed the Pro-Life Rosary, the Right to Life Rosary, and it's beautiful, especially when you're praying it with a group. But I would also like to consider praying this rosary in, for other life issues. We have so many, and they're increasing, increasingly more life issues. So it is for abortion. It is also for terrorism, for random acts of violence or hate crimes, suicide in so many different ways, self-harm, euthanasia, assisted suicide, aid in death, capital punishment. We're thinking of the death penalty. We can also think of hunger, people who are starving. We can think of human trafficking, abuse, bullying, anything that goes against the dignity of human life, especially those that are taking human lives, but also those that are just not having that sense of respect and love and valuing the lives of our neighbors. So okay, so as I go through that, I'm thinking of it in that sense. So not to in any way take away from the pro-life, right to life prayers. That's all very good. Just to also think of it as we could pray this rosary for any of those life issues that is particularly on our heart at that time, or even for all of them at the same time as we go through this rosary. So this is your aqua white, or in this case light blue and white. You're going to put on your Hail Marys the same way as your first ones, an end in both sides, and either side I should say, and then pull that down for 10 beads, and you're alternating between the light blue and the white or clear beads. So the aqua or the light blue are for the intentions of the Immaculate Heart of Mary. And this is from the traditional prayers, and then the white beads are praying for world peace. So that is already very general. So you're going to do that for 10. And then you're going to put an Our Father at the end the same way that you did the other Our Father. Okay, so you'll have 10 beads just like that. You put 2 ends through for your next Our Father. Then your next decade is going to go red and white. You see here, red beads. You were thinking about the blood that's spilled in acts against human life, with injuries that are inflicted. For red, and then for white, the grace of repentance. Okay, then the next decade, it's alternating between that purple or black and the white or clear. And so for the purple or the black, we're thinking of people who do commit acts against human life. So this might be in the medical profession. It might be terrorists. It might be a bully. Whoever is acting against, not respecting human life. We can think, we can look in our own hearts and say, okay, when have I not respected human life? And we're praying for grace for these people, and even for ourselves, in any way that we haven't upheld the value of human life. And then again, on those white beads, praying for repentance and conversion for others, and any place in our own hearts that needs repentance and conversion and healing. Then we go on to this next decade, and if you are not a United States citizen, or if you want to pray for this more broadly in the world, maybe you'll want to change the colors, but we love our red, white, and blue, and so we have red, white, and blue here. And so the red ones are praying for laws that don't uphold human life, or we could think of policies. So if we're thinking in smaller sectors too, not just the laws that govern the nation, but in communities. We have red for any laws that aren't upholding human life, that those would be taken down, that those would be reversed. Then for the white or the clear, strengthening of the laws that do, and the policies that do uphold the value of human life. And then blue is for new laws that better help protect and value and respect human life. So that's our 3, and you're just gonna alternate, red, white, blue as you go through that decade. Or if you feel like changing the colors, you could. And then for this last one, it's green and white. So we're thinking of green as like, new life, that, mercy, justice, truth, peace. So this is also on here, that all that would be realized, that there would be a renewal in the value of human life. We have Les Miserables, to love another person is to see the face of God. So there's our green beads. And then for the white or the clear, we're praying for Mary's intercession. Okay, so then when we make it all the way around, so you've strung those, the same way, all the way around. The end is a bit different, so I have one that's already there. Okay, so once you get to the end, you'll notice you have not made a single knot yet. This is your first and your only knot, and I think for some people that's the main value of this one, is that you only have one knot. That makes it easier. So you're taking these ends. What I'm doing is this second Our Father right at the beginning, so you don't have a center bead. This is serving as, your glory bead and your center bead that, goes into the Our Father for your first and your last, or your first decade, and then the glory bead for your last. You're going to stick the ends through, and you're putting them through the top, so they're going down like towards the crucifix as you do this. One of these is a little bit frayed, so it's kind of tricky. There we go. So pull those through. This one I made like really tight actually, because for the ladder rosaries you want to be able to move the beads a little bit while you're praying. This is kind of cool too for if you have a situation where you're praying the rosary and you can't pray it all at the same time. It's kind of like having a bookmark. You have that little space, so that's pretty cool. But yes, you don't want it to be super tight because you do want to be able to actually move those beads. You don't want it to be tremendously loose, but it's okay to leave a little bit of extra space there so you can wiggle it. So then you're just making a regular knot. So I'm looping this around my finger. I'm putting the ends through that loop and tightening it down. So just really basic knot. And then I'm just going to make another one to make sure it's good. And depending on the thickness of your cord and the size of the holes of your beads, you may want to do more or less knots here just to make sure that that's not going to pop through your bead. You could also, if you wanted to use a heart bead right there, that would be kind of nice. But there we go. Cut off the extra. And then I like to use nail polish or glue here just to keep it together a little bit more. So and then you're all set to pray. And I'll include some more information in the description section. But there's your Sanctity Human Life Rosary.